These are the 10 hardest Keyblades to unlock in the Kingdom Hearts series. Known as the weapon capable of unlocking any lock, the Keyblade is incredibly powerful. Throughout the games, we've seen tons of different Keyblades jump around through its wielders. From the ability to cast magical attacks and be able to open any door from manual to digital, the Keyblade has found itself to be one of the most iconic weapons in the gaming space. While we do know of the Kingdom Key, the most popular version of this weapon, there are so many others with different designs, abilities, and unlock potential. When playing through the games, you typically unlock a new Keyblade after clearing out a world. You occasionally switch up to stronger gear, as the Kingdom Key is usually only used in the beginning sections, and these additional Keyblades will boost your attack, magic, and even provide a special ability. For this video, we are going to be taking a look at the most difficult Keyblades to unlock, the ones that require you to do something incredibly challenging or grind out for specific resources. Like most RPGs, the best weapons are usually hidden behind some of the game's toughest challenges, requiring players to travel across the world and collect all of its resources. Sometimes grinding out for these Keyblades is so helpful for taking on the game's hardest bosses. It also feels good to use the game's strongest weapons during its most difficult moments. It really feels like a true clash of power between two evenly matched foes. And I'm not going to be looking at how good these weapons are though. More so, we're going to be looking at the whole experience of unlocking this weapon from start to finish, because some of these will definitely make you want to rip your hair out. Usually the hardest Keyblades to unlock are often not even the best ones in the game. It's usually just something players want to collect to 100% the game. And the Keyblades come in so many different shapes and sizes. There's something unique about every Keyblade out there, which reminds me a lot of the champions from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Those looking for a massive turn-based RPG to play on their iPhone and Androids, well, look no further. With over 800 different champions to choose from, Raid Shadow Legends offers up new champions and new content updates every month to keep things fresh. The level of customization is insane, between building skill trees, optimizing weapons, and making sure you have the correct team composition for the game's more challenging bosses. There's even a Hydra battle with 6 different heads to face off against. And the neat part is that each head has its own built-in boss battle with its own insane mechanics. You can face off against the Head of Mischief. Like, imagine setting up a ton of buffs for your champion and then the Head of Mischief just snatches it all away. Then it gives those buffs to the other Hydra heads in battle. You got a storm coming unless you bring a champion to get rid of that Pain Link debuff. Then there's the Head of Torment, with the ability to skip your turns and cut off access to some of your abilities. You can get away by using the Veil skills, but you gotta be sure to act quickly. With the Head of Blight, poison will rain down from a cloud, negatively affecting your entire team. You'll lose HP and even miss out on some of your debuffs, but it's super weak to fire attacks. Burn this head to the ground with HP burn champions, and all 6 of these heads have something terrifying going on with them. But overcoming them in combat through your own problem solving and team building is incredibly satisfying. To give you a bit of help in battle, you can unlock the legendary champion, Sun Wukong the Monkey King. With him being a legendary champion, his stats will be much higher, making him the perfect option for the Hydras. You just gotta log in for 7 days between now and October 23rd to grab him, and he's absolutely free to unlock, which will be so helpful for new players. For more goodies, you can unlock the epic champion Knight Errant by using my link in the description or by using this QR code on the screen. You'll also receive additional energy refills, skill tomes, and XP boosters. Once you're all set up, make sure to add me and join my clan. I'm currently in the process of going through the campaign, and I found myself getting rocked a couple times while playing, but after building my own lineup of characters and choosing based off of enemy weaknesses, it felt good to finally overcome that challenge. Once again, you can sign up using this QR code or using the link in the description below. Thank you so much to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Now, these are the 10 most difficult Keyblades to unlock in the Kingdom Hearts series. To start off with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, let's look at the game's strongest weapon. The Unbound Keyblade has the highest attack stat out of any other Keyblade in the Dream Worlds. It's a purple design that has the teeth of the blade looking similar to the game's drop meter. In order to unlock this weapon, you need to complete every secret portal in the game as the corresponding characters. These secret portals are only available after completing the game for the first time, as new portals will appear throughout the worlds, acting as rematches for bosses that were originally there. Only this time, all the battles are a bit tougher, offering more HP for the enemies and more of a damage boost. Fortunately, the attack patterns are still going to be the same, so there's no new mechanics that you need to learn, but like with all the Keyblades in Dream Drop Distance, you need to unlock it individually for both Sora and Riku, as Sora will need to rematch 6 bosses while Riku only has to do 5. So it is a bit easier for Riku to get this blade. These battles can be tough if you aren't careful. That additional DPS makes it so bosses can take out your entire HP in just a few hits. Especially on harder difficulties, these bosses can give you a real problem. The Spelican fight in particular is already a fight that I despise when going through Dream Drop Distance again, and since you already beat the game, there's not really much for you to do with the Unbound Keyblade once it's unlocked. You need to clear out all 11 bosses to get the Keyblade for both of our heroes. To enter the world of Kingdom Hearts 3, the classic Tone Keyblade is a bit of work to hunt down. The neat part about Kingdom Hearts 3 has been the inclusion of Keyblade transformations, where every weapon in the game functions completely differently from one another when compared to the older games. To get this one, you need to go around the world and find every classic Kingdom minigame, which were like these light Game & Watch-like titles that Sora would find in big chests throughout the world. In total, there are 23 classic Kingdom minigames to find once Sora gets his gummy phone. Fortunately, they're all inside of the bigger treasure chest, making them much easier to find, but the worlds of Kingdom Hearts 3 are so much bigger and elaborate elaborate than the older games. Searching throughout these areas takes so much longer, and it's so much more common to miss something that was right behind a hidden structure. Not only that, but after collecting them all, you also need to set your own high score, requiring you to play through every single one of these classic Kingdom games. In my opinion, it's a cool little feature as extra content in the game, but nothing I was really trying to put too much time into. The gameplay for these are just so simple, like I'd rather go outside and explore the worlds than sit on the gummy phone. I sometimes would accidentally quit before my high score could even be recorded, so I'd have to go back and do it again. They aren't the most fun things to clear out, but doing it will give you the classic tone. I do like how this Keyblade changes everything to black and white for a little bit, but it's more so just a reward for collecting all of the classic Kingdom titles. When Kingdom Hearts 2 turned into Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, it added a ton of extra features to the game. From additional boss fights to extra cutscenes, it really felt like a complete package. While exploring the world, you may occasionally come across these mushroom enemies dressed as members of the organization. There are 13 of them throughout the game, and each of them will give Sora a special challenge to get a high score. Although these challenges aren't like anything that came before it in the game, often requiring Sora to use Keyblades and abilities they normally would not, as all members of the Mushroom 13 have their own special challenges to complete. To point out a few, the mushroom in the world that never was requires you to catch the mushroom off guard with combos. You can't reach his high score by using normal combos, so you need to enter final form to get those extra hits in, and you better have that drive gauge filled up before it runs out. Then there's the one outside of Master Yensid's tower, where you're tasked with keeping the mushroom in the air for as long as possible. You need to be super mobile and attentive to see where it's going to land. It's often these mushrooms would take me several tries before I could clear them. They're almost like small puzzles, and the answers are all within Sora's kit. But like I said, most of the game has just been attacking and healing. Now we have to consider his level, height, length of the Keyblade, combo counter, and spacing. It's a higher level of gameplay, and I'm very much a fan of it once I figured out what to do. It is rewarding as you get this little animation of them cheering when it's all over, rewarding Sora with the Winner's Proof Keyblade as a trophy. This Keyblade has the highest magical bonus in the game, making it an excellent Keyblade for Wisdom form. And you also get one of the proofs, giving Sora a little crown on his head. The Mushroom 13 really requires you to think outside of the box. And outside of the box is unknown and scary, placing the Winner's Proof at number 8. Jumping into Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, there are a handful of Keyblades that are truly the experience of struggle. The first being the most delicious, the Sweet Stack Keyblade. Similar to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep has multiple playable characters, each with their own sets of unlockable Keyblades. The Sweet Stack can be unlocked by everyone, but it's definitely a bit of a grind. To obtain it, you need to create every type of ice cream available beforehand. In this game, you'll find unversed called the prize pods, which spawn in every world. Attacking them will cause them to drop a flavor like apple pie, balloon melon, or cherry berry, to name a few. You'll then need to go to Disney Town and turn those ingredients into ice cream. Now, each world has its own set of unversed to go with its own flavors. Similar to the synthesis mechanic in older games, you'll be hunting down these unversed to get every single flavor. Also, certain characters can only make certain kinds of ice cream, since their flavors are different throughout each playthrough. Like Terra is the only one who can make the vanilla glitz, while Ventus can only make the honey bunny. Point is, this is one of those Keyblades that's going to require you to make a spreadsheet. Keeping track of the locations of each flavor for each character is a colossal pain, and you have to keep coming back to grind out these flavors again and again. Fortunately, once you make an ice cream, you can just purchase it again at the shop, but making them all will reward you with the Sweet Stack Keyblade. This is another one of those weapons that is just collected for the sake of collecting it. Like, there are better Keyblades in Birth by Sleep, so this ice cream one is just gonna be collecting dust. Fun fact, I didn't know the number of scoops on this Keyblade changes depending on the character. Terra has 6 scoops, while Aqua has 5, and Ventus has the smallest with just 4. Usually they just make the Keyblade longer between versions, but this one actually changes the design a little bit. I like that little detail. Soaring back into Kingdom Hearts 3, the Grand Chef Keyblade is somewhat unlocked in the same fashion as the classic tone. Instead of hunting down classic video games, you'll be searching for a good spot to find some ingredients. New to Kingdom Hearts 3 are food items that can be cooked to create dishes. These are made in the bistro in Twilight Town after participating in one of 4 cooking games. To get the Grand Chef Keyblade, you'll need to achieve an excellent rating in all 20 recipes of the restaurant. Now, cooking these items is a bit difficult at first, but you unlock the Gourmand ring, making it a bit easier to get excellence, as this equipable item makes it much easier to land excellent ranking. Although even with this item, this Keyblade can be a pain to hunt for, as you'll need to find every ingredient in the game, some of which aren't super easy to unlock. And there are 59 different ingredients in the game, making the search for them far and wide. They're also fairly hidden, sometimes appearing in Chinese takeout boxes in the city streets. Or maybe if you want some honey, you have to go out and clear a 100-acre wood. Or maybe you need to get a lobster that is only found in one corner in the depths of the ocean. The collection of every ingredient is the true challenge of this Keyblade. And it's another one that's kind of a clone of a pre-existing Keyblade, as this one turns into a shield just like the one we get from the Olympus world. So you'll likely be just using this one as a trophy for getting the bistro to 5 stars. And I've already talked about my beef with the egg cracking minigame. I'm just buns at it, so this Keyblade is going to be locked forever. My pain and suffering will never end. There's a reason that this Keyblade is called the End of Pain. because you unlock it only after ending the pain that is in Dream Drop Distance. We already talked about the Unbound Keyblade and the secret portals that needed to be cleared to unlock that, but this time we're going to be talking about these special portals, and these are a special type of pain. Like the battle portals, Sora and Riku will enter them and defeat nightmares in order to get rewards. Although with the special portals, only one of them will appear in the world per drop, and there are 6 different special portals for both Sora and Riku in each world, making it 78 special portals in total if you want the Keyblade for both of them. Now, the first time I played Dream Drop Distance, I had no idea how to locate these special portals. They were always changing after every drop, and it was another instance where I needed a guide to progress. I didn't know you needed to look at the Dream Meter forecast before jumping into a world, so you're constantly dropping back and forth between Sora and Riku in order to get the special portal to even spawn within the world. Then you have to clear them afterwards, which isn't really even the tough part. Hunting down these special portals takes a level of patience that I did not have. I would not recommend getting this Keyblade without a guide, because misplacing the location of one special portal can send you down such a slippery slope. The design of the End of Pain Keyblade is dope though, as it has the gazing eye as part of its design, and that's typically something that only has to do with Master Xehanort or the Master of Masters. Funny enough, I don't think I've actually unlocked this one myself. I might have to dedicate a stream to doing that in the future, just to say that I got it done. When Kingdom Hearts 3 was released, it initially didn't have either Oathkeeper or Oblivion Keyblades. Many fans were disappointed to find that both these blades were missing from the base game. It wasn't until a later patch that added them into the game before Remind had released, and they made them some of the most difficult Keyblades to unlock in the series. Now, Oathkeeper is definitely a bit easier of the two, requiring the players to search around the world for 90 lucky emblems. These are very well hidden throughout the game's environments, often blending in so well I would have missed them without a guide. This will reward the player with the Proof of Promises, which can later be claimed at the Moogle shop for the Oathkeeper Keyblade. Now, this one just requires you to go looking for something. The Oblivion Keyblade, on the other hand, requires you to have these hands. To get the Proof of Times Past, the item needed to get the Oblivion in the shop, you need to complete Kingdom Hearts 3 on critical mode, which is one of the toughest Kingdom Hearts challenges out there. When Kingdom Hearts 3 first released, many considered it way too easy, as players were able to clear through the game with little to no deaths. But the developers took that commentary seriously when creating critical mode. Not only is your HP and MP cut in half throughout the entire game, there's less magic and less situation commands as well, and the enemy AI is tweaked a bit to be more aggressive and responsive. They gave Sora an entirely new moveset to deal with these new challenges. Bosses that were considered fairly easier in lower difficulties were cranked up to new heights. Many players have strong opinions on how critical mode was handled in this game, and personally I love that the game is more difficult. I'm able to learn a brand new set of skills that I've otherwise would have ignored on easier difficulties. Still, clearing critical mode and unlocking the Oblivion Keyblade is only possible through blood, sweat, and tears. So I actually didn't know much about these Keyblades before researching this video, but I thought it was interesting enough because I don't think I ever got them in my initial playthrough. In Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, every Keyblade swing correlates to a card, and a lot of the Keyblades on the cards are from Kingdom Hearts 1. This makes sense as the game is made up of Sora's memories. Although in the remake of the game, they added cards that originate from Kingdom Hearts 2, Keyblades that don't appear in the series until the very next game. All Keyblades which are heavily associated with Roxas and appear in Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. In order to unlock them, you need to first watch the Days movie, as they won't appear in Chain of Memories unless you do. Which, by the way, you should be playing Chain of Memories before jumping into the Days movie, because like, why would you do that? It's ordered like this in the collection for a reason. Instead, you'll likely forget about this and come back to it if you're looking for these cards. The way you unlock them, though, is through the Room of Rewards, which is a gold card in each world that contains a powerful item and ability behind it. Getting the Room of Reward card is such a hassle because of how random it feels when it drops. You'll likely be grinding for hours until one of them appears, and you'll need to use them since you're only allowed to carry one of them at a time, meaning going to the world, opening the door, claiming the reward, and returning back to the grinding spot. That extra bonus of needing to finish the Days movie just adds a little more icing on that difficulty cake. I really had no idea these were even in the game. Anyone who has played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep knows that the Royal Radiance Keyblade is the biggest pain in the butt out there. In this game, there's a world called the Mirage Arena. It's much different than any of the other Disney worlds and acts as this game's version of the Colosseum, even though this game has a Colosseum. Anyway, as you can face off against waves of enemies for rewards and prizes. Although there's so much more you can do here, like participate in kart racing and the command board, which is Kingdom Hearts' version of Monopoly, or Mario Party, or something. To unlock this challenge and even claim the Royal Radiance Keyblade, you'll need to get the Mirage Arena to level 30, and it will only unlock at level 30 as this is the max arena level for this world. You can build up the arena level by winning every arena match, winning all 7 command boards, and beating 5 laps under a certain time for each racetrack, all of which are incredibly time consuming and not really the biggest appeal for Kingdom Hearts. The command boards are just so slow and not really what I feel like I should be doing in this beat 'em up game. There's also the potential that you can lose in one of these games, causing you to have to start all over from the beginning. Only then after reaching arena level 30, you'll be able to unlock the Foresight onto Darkness challenge. You'll face off against an armored Master Xehanort for the prize, and the fight isn't too bad. You'll just have to get through this dark wall and avoid his volley of attacks. But it's really a drag just getting to this point. Between the mini games and the actual boss content, the Royal Radiance Keyblade is easily one of the hardest to get in all of these games. But there has been one that has always stood the test of time. When a new Kingdom Hearts game comes out, one of the first things players want to know is how they can get the Ultima Weapon, it acting as the ultimate challenge for players looking to get an incredibly powerful Keyblade. The designs are always so sick no matter the entry of the series, but with this being so sought after, they made sure to make the process such a long one. And the Ultima Weapon is almost present in every Kingdom Hearts game. With that being said, each game has its own cynical twist on how to get this iconic weapon. It will only appear in Chain of Memories after the player has completed the game with both Sora and Riku. You'll then need to use a Calm Bounty card in Castle Oblivion, and it will be there. This is the easiest of the bunch, and it still requires you to complete the entire game to get it. In Birth by Sleep, you basically unlock it in the same way as the Royal Radiance. Get the arena to level 30 and defeat the Villain's Vendetta challenge, which in itself is a lot of pain and suffering. In Recoded, you'll have to go through 10 floors of pain in Hollow Bastion, only to be greeted with a boss battle against a darker Data Roxas, the most difficult boss in the game, where after you beat him, you can get the Ultima Weapon. Dream Drop Distance is another example of pain and suffering, with Julius acting as this game's secret boss. And beating him will give each of our heroes the Ultima Weapon. If you don't balloon spam in this battle, you're gonna have a bad time. And I'm considering these the easier Ultima Weapons to unlock. Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3 require players to scour the globe for synthesis items, which can be collected by defeating certain enemies in certain worlds. But building out those resources can take dozens of hours to get through. And it's often where the item you're looking for just has an insanely low drop rate. And that's not even talking about all the weird ones that require you to do a specific challenge. I'm looking at you, Frozen Slider. The Ultima Weapon really puts you into the Kingdom Hearts minds and tells you to get to work. Every time this weapon shows up, it puts a bit of fear into our hearts, because we know we're gonna get hit with a massive shopping list in order to get it, making it consistently the hardest weapon to get in the Kingdom Hearts series. But at the same time, our efforts are rewarded with the strongest weapon. You never have to worry about underperforming with these. And even in Kingdom Hearts 3, they took it to a whole nother level by having the ultimate form. There has never been an instance where Sora felt more powerful than this. Kingdom Hearts 4 has mighty shoes to fill. But these are the 10 hardest Keyblades to unlock in the Kingdom Hearts series. Of course, I want to hear all of your personal stories about unlocking these weapons, because I know I'm not the only one who'll be suffering in the mines. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you remember being the hardest to unlock? I just shared all of my trauma in this video, and I know that Ultima Weapon in Kingdom Hearts 4 is about to be crazy difficult too. Will it have 4 different swords this time around? Personally, I think that would be dope. Once again, big thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, you can use my Raid Shadow Legends link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses for new players as well as an epic champion. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.